Hey, real talk before we dive in, you didn't click on this because you like specs. You clicked because deep down you feel your current rig lagging behind the moment things get demanding. That slight hesitation, that little stutter you've learned to tolerate, it's not normal. The STORMCRAFT Sirius AI gaming desktop changes that the second you power it up. This is for you if you're the kind of person who doesn't shrug at small performance drops. You notice when visuals don't feel fluid, when load times stretch, and when multitasking feels like a negotiation. You're not chasing benchmarks, you're chasing smooth, confident performance every time you sit down. Before anything else, check the current price and availability. Mid to high tier PCs like this, with real graphics power and fast storage, don't stick at fair prices forever, and hesitation usually costs you later, not less. You know the moment when you realized your old setup was fine. Until it wasn't. Maybe it handled games until the action picked up. Maybe editing or creative workflows started feeling sluggish. Maybe you closed browser tabs not because you wanted to, but because your system silently asked you to. You don't need a crash to know something is off, you feel it. That's the upgrade cue. The first time you sit down with this machine, you feel control instead of compromise. Games launch confidently. Graphics feel fluid instead of tentative. Background tasks don't struggle for attention. That sense of restraint you've grown used to? It evaporates. You don't wonder whether the system can keep up, it just does. Whether you're gaming into the late hours, diving into creative projects, or juggling apps and workflows, the experience stays composed. Frame rates stay steady. Textures load fast. You feel like you're in command instead of making allowances. And don't think you can wait for a better deal. Machines with this balance of CPU prowess and GPU capability tighten up in stock and push prices up when demand spikes. Waiting usually means paying more for the same experience. If you're thinking this might be too much, that doubt disappears when you use it. This isn't noisy or chaotic power, it's balanced and controlled. Everything works together instead of fighting for resources. You don't feel overwhelmed, you feel equipped. Here's the part people overlook. Once your system stops being the bottleneck, how you approach tasks changes. You stop budgeting performance. You stop apologizing for slowdowns. You just do. That confidence, the freedom to execute without limitation, is what separates a decent setup from a setup you enjoy. Performance that feels steady and confident graphics that stay crisp and fluid multitasking without hesitation feels like your setup finally matches you, not for extreme ultra-max settings. Desktop footprint requires dedicated space at some point. Comparing weaker options stops helping. You don't revisit them because you're unsure, you revisit because you're delaying the decision you already know you want. Check the price now while it's still favorable, trust the instinct that brought you here, and make that upgrade with confidence, because this isn't one of those upgrades you'll regret putting off. It's the one that finally feels right.